stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Fort Lee Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published on January 15, 2021, and posted on the district website at www.flboe.com, published in the board's designated online media outlet / newspaper, The Record, filed with the clerk of the Borough of Fort Lee, and mailed to all persons, if any, who have requested said notice. Please be advised that this meeting is being taped and may be broadcasted on local TV and the district's website at a future date. The Open Public Meeting Act allows for remote participation at board meetings and defines the word meeting as any gathering, whether corporal or by means of communication equipment, which is attended by or open to all of the members of a public body, held with the intent on the part of the members of the body present to discuss or act as a unit upon the specific public business of that body. Could we have roll call, please?
Ms. Byers-Kane. Here. Ms. Cho.
Here.
Ms. Hans Silver.
Here.
Ms. Morell.
Here.
Ms. Richter.
Here.
Ms. Ramba.
Here.
Mr. Rubino.
Here.
Ms. Stasu.
Here.
Ms. Colbath.
Here.
And I'd like to welcome our new attorney, Francis Phoebus. You have quorum.
Thank you. The board convened executive session at 6:30 p.m. today to discuss legal, personnel, and other confidential matters. Mr. Rhoda, would you start with your superintendent's report?
Thank you, Ms. Colbath. First, for our HIB report, we had 2 HIB investigations since the last meeting. One was founded. The consequences and results of that investigation were discussed with the board in closed session. Secondly, just a quick update, school status. Schools are all operating on 5 days a week with the combined cohorts. It is going well so far, and we will continue with this for the time being. That's all I have, Ms. Colbath.
Sorry, Ms. Colbath, if you could unmute while you're speaking.
Thank you, Mr. Rhoda, for your report. And does anyone have any committee reports? I see Holly's hand up.
Holly needs to unmute.
I thought I did. Sorry, Elisa. Thank you. So we had a personnel committee meeting this past week. It was very productive, very effective. The committee is recommending that we go out for RFPs. And at the same time, we're also looking at other avenues as far as interims. That's it. That's my report.
And the RFPs that Holly's talking about would be to get a search firm to do a search for a permanent superintendent. Yes. I would just add that Hakisha furnished the committee with a list of interims. Ken sat down with us to go over and give us his insights as to who he thought would be appropriate. Obviously, Dr. Amato is not on that list, but she's on our list that, you know, as a group that at an appropriate time we'll consider. Are there any? Go ahead, Tanya. No.
She's not muted. No. Put your microphone down. I'll start if she has a technical problem. Can you hear me? Nope.
Okay, so while they figured that out, why don't you go, Julie?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so we had a curriculum meeting and there were a few things we discussed. First, we discussed presenting diversity topics in our curriculum, and that will be done in a future meeting. on 4/26. We also discussed honor roll recognition procedures. We also discussed standardized testing this spring. We also discussed several of the new high school courses of study added for 21-22. And we also discussed the curriculum and our textbook links, which is on our website, very easy to see. We also discussed, which is very important, the learning loss determination and remediation, our summer learning program, and various ways we are going to try to remediate some of the loss due to COVID of our learning. We discussed SAT preparation and testing. And finally, we discussed high school finals exams. Thank you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So the ad hoc, the pandemic learning committee met, and we discussed, went over, Mr. Rhoda shared with us the percentage of in-person versus hybrid students. The next goal, which would be to have a full day. And we also discussed the teachers' vaccinations. We went over or spoke about the prom, the moving up, field day. All of those are being worked, are being talked about and worked through with Mr. Rhoda and the administrators in the district. And we've had no in-school transmission, so we feel that everything is going very well with in-person learning. Thank you.
Any other committee reports?
Ms. Colbeth, let me just add one thing to my report.
Sure.
Since Ms. Stasu mentioned it, just so the people in the audience are aware that the NJSLA testing, the state standardized testing, has been canceled for this spring. So just make that official that we did receive notice that the testing has been canceled by the state. They will be using alternative assessments, and there will be some kind of testing in the fall coming up.
Thank you.
If I may, President Colbath,
Sure.
there is a sign-in sheet going around for board members with various symposiums and conferences. I think it started over in Candy's area. So if you could please pass that down and check off the conferences you'd like to attend, and we will register you for those. Thank you.
Do any board members have questions or comments on tonight's agenda or any other topic?
Ms.
I
Colbeth?
I
Tanya?
have a question, yes. So in 3B that has my name in it, do I refrain from that or do I vote on that? I
You
mean,
abstain.
I'm gonna mess it up every single time.
You can abstain on that one.
Okay,
You're going to say I abstain as to my name.
okay, thank you, thank you.
But
Okay, thank you.
anyone else?
Could I actually ask a question real quick on the interim superintendent and the, I guess, hiring process? I myself I'm not familiar with the process. I know that a lot of the members here have that experience as to how it's typically done. With the personnel committee, I guess, would we have the same amount of information as the personnel committee so that, you know, everybody would make an informed decision similar to, I guess, the attorney? Would we have an idea in terms of who's being considered, or and be able to have a dialogue that would be meaningful before a determination is made? Or would we basically go with the recommendation of the committee?
I got this.
No.
I got this. Okay, Elisa, just to let you know, it's going to be, it's involving the whole board. It's going to be a committee of the board. The basics that we discussed are just the mainframe. Everything else goes through the board. Everybody on the board gets to see everything. Everybody's going to have their input. It's going to be a board decision. It's not going to be a committee decision. We just had to start the mainframe as far as going out for RFPs for search firms. Are we going with just an interim? Do we want to go through an interim and at the same time look for a permanent, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to get all the pieces put into place. After that, everybody sees everything at the same time, and it is not by any means the recommendation of the personnel committee. It is the recommendation of the board.
Can I also ask one?
And
Sorry, can I ask one
Annalisa,
question on that?
I view the committee as like information gathering. So rather than all of us sit here and say, okay, who's going to get a copy of the list of available interims? You know, the committee has collected that. I'm happy to circulate the entire list to the board so you could see who's on it, the type, you know, and it doesn't mean everyone is available. They could have an assignment now, but so you could see the types of people that are on it, and you could do whatever
That
due
would be
diligence
helpful.
you want.
So that, yeah, exactly. So we could do our own due diligence.
I
Ms.
had made a
Colbath?
mental note to do that and forgot to send it. So
Ms.
yeah.
Colbath, can you hear me?
yes.
I just have a question on that also. It's a firm decision that we're going to go out for RFPs for the search firm, or we might just do it on our own.
So I understand that the last time the board, and I wasn't on the board, but Holly told me you guys put an ad in the newspaper and solicited. You know, look, if the board wants to
Yeah,
do that
in the beginning,
you
then we
know,
went for the search
I
firm.
don't. I think we need a professional search firm to collect,
Yeah.
to do background. Whether we put an ad in to see what kind of resumes, I mean, I got to tell you, I did something about that type of a process. I just don't think we're equipped, and we need a professional to kind of guide us and to do things. I'm not opposed to doing both, but I feel strongly that we need a search firm to kind of oversee it. And historically, you know, that we did use a search firm last time. Now, Holly says the board also put its own ad in and got resumes. If you guys want to do that, that can be done. I think that process, where are the resumes going to go? Who's going to look? I mean, I'm happy to do that, but my preference, you know, I'm going to look forward to a professional firm holding our hand through the process, and because they know who's available. They're doing searches, you know, look, for instance, Ridgewood just did a search. They know who's out and who's available. So I don't know. What's the board's thinking about putting
It's
an
just-
ad in?
It's just a lot of money. I think if we could do both, it's a lot of money you spend on a firm to look for somebody.
So is the consensus that we should put an ad in ourselves?
Search firm, let me get this right, if it's like a regular, they'll weed out any of the unwanted or people that don't qualify, stuff like that, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think a search firm will also share with you everyone who applied. They may say these 6 over here, we don't think would be a good fit because they come from Pennsylvania and they're not, you know, familiar, or they've only done K-8 and you have a high school. I think that they'll segregate, but I think that if we say to them, we want to see every resume that came in, you're paying them to collect. And if you want to look through resumes, I'm sure that they'll be happy to furnish them to us. So is the consensus, do people want to put an ad in to see what kind of resumes we get?
That's what I thought we should do. We should put an ad in and see what we can get. But at the same time, we could do the RFPs for the search firm. And as far as what Paul is saying, Mike, it's not so much weeding out. They give you everything, but they tell you all the information they have on each individual. And then we, as a board, will make our decision, and we let them know, okay, these are the 3 or 4 people that we would like to see. And that's how it's done. But they don't weed it out and, you know, and not give you. They tell you everybody that comes, you know, through their desk.
I thought we decided we were doing both in our meeting. I'm
So,
confused.
okay.
think that-
Right.
mean-
we didn't get to discuss a lot of things in executive. And
Right.
because of that, that's why it was so brief.
Right.
And that's
but we got
why,
lucky.
we had just said that, you know, moving forward, we would just do the RFP for the search firm.
Right.
There was a whole a whole report that had to be given. But I had always,
So we should have
Okay,
I
another
thought that
meeting.
we should do both.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
not gonna hurt
Let-
us
let-
by doing it.
Elisa, let me go first. Esther's waving and
Go ahead.
she had
Um,
experience from the last search. So let's,
I mean, I don't think we can necessarily rely on what happened with the last search. But I think, you know, there are benefits, you know, kind of what Paula was saying, there are some benefits to using a third party, third party group or recruiter. Because one, you know, as a board, we can talk about what are some of the background, the characteristics we want, and they can help you hone in on that. They can, you know, solicit, they can look for people with certain experience, certain credentials that we want. All right. And that'll help a lot. They can do some of the reference checks. They can look at the resumes. They can talk to the individuals, see what's see what's motivating them. Talk to them. Why are you interested in here? Do all of the background legwork that the 9 of us, A, don't have the experience with,
Right.
B, don't necessarily have the time with. All right. This is what they do. So yes, there's a cost factor, but they have the experience and this is why they have the experience. You know, yes, we found Ken, but he actually wasn't found by the recruiter, actually. So it was actually by a stroke of luck. Okay. And that was it, right. But that, you know, we can't rely on that to happen next time. That was actually through more of a networking situation. All right. So in that aspect, I do think my opinion out of the 9 here is that, you know, yes, if you want to try putting an ad in, okay, fine. It doesn't hurt. But in this instance, we're better off using a professional, using their services to help us. All right. This is the leader of our district. All right. The 9 of us shouldn't be the ones guiding the process and finding the person.
Mhm.
All right. Yes, we're all capable individuals, but we shouldn't be the ones in charge of finding. All right. And this is what I do. All right. And I'm saying we shouldn't be the ones doing it. All right. So that was my opinion.
I just wanted to say, actually, you know, the landscape I think has changed a lot in marketing as a whole, whether it's digital marketing or whatnot. Especially Ken, you've been here for 16 years, so I don't know what avenues superintendents are looking for positions or whatnot, and I don't know if anybody else here is privy to that information too in today's landscape. So I do think there's, you know, expertise and professionalism with the search firm, although I don't know much about them, obviously, but isn't that the point of going out for the RFP to see how much it would cost us?
correct.
And then when we're talking about getting an ad, where are we putting an ad? Like in the record? Like, I don't even know that anybody reads that anymore. You know, like I'm not sure what that pertains to either, to be honest with you. So I don't know if we can do it any better than an actual personnel firm or not, but I think to even understand that a little bit deeper when we do have the RFPs to see, well, can we do both them properly at the same time? I think that'd be really helpful.
Well,
I think the cost of a firm is generally in the $15,000 range. And so while that's a lot of money, like Esther said, it's like the most important position in the district. And I think it would be money well spent.
I do think that Holly really felt strongly about putting an ad out. So I felt that out of respect for Holly, we could put an ad out and also do the firm. I don't know if Esther, you had any thoughts on that, because Holly really felt strongly about that in the meeting.
Let Francis would like to say something on this point.
Okay. No, it's not.
So
Can you hear me?
Yes.
The only concern I would have with advertising and then going out for an RFP and using a search firm is that your results may also be incompatible. Using the advertisement may produce Is it because
Let's
this
call it
one?
Mike, but if the BOE attorney just
I wonder
mutes
if
hers,
the
it should be
microphones
fine.
are. Hello? Still not working? It is working. Okay. All right. You can hear me? Oh, okay. So what I was saying is in posting an advertisement and thereafter going out for a search firm, my concern would be you're going to start engaging in the process without having the full spectrum and all of the information that you would also get from the search firm. So you're really going to start being influenced by some of the results that you're receiving from the ad without having the benefit of everything. And I do agree with the statements that were made by the other board members that you really want to make sure that you're enlisting the services of someone, or a firm rather, who has that specialization, expertise, and what a school district needs to thrive, right? And what those qualifications are. I think you all have knowledge in what would make a successful superintendent, but somebody who's right, a firm who has the experience and the background to be able to assess very quickly, very effectively and efficiently, and also a little bit more competitively, right, to get the best candidate to apply for your district. So my only concern with the advertising is it may just detract from your overall ability to really comprehensively search for a new superintendent.
So does anyone want to make a motion on advertising, or where do we all stand on that? No, no.
No, you don't need to make a motion for that.
I would
Hakisha is working on an RFP that will get us information that we can analyze from search firms, and we can make a decision, yes or no, to engage one. Okay, so that process is already ongoing. The question is whether we, as a board, put an ad in whatever the appropriate newspaper or publication is to solicit resumes on our own. That would be, I don't know, either sent to central office or to the lawyer. And I guess we all kind of look at them and decide whether we want to speak to anyone.
It does seem a bit, kind of going back to what Elisa said, it does seem a little archaic, to be honest, to put an ad in the newspaper right now. We are putting the cart before the horse. So, it doesn't mean that we can't do that later, but I think right now we should just hold off on putting an ad.
Well, we don't have to do an ad right now, but it's not so much hold off, because once we do the RFPs for the search firm and we decide to hire a search firm, there's no need to put an ad after
Correct.
that. That would just be redundant and unnecessary and a waste of money. So that's why I had originally just put it out there and said, this is how we had done it last time in the very, very beginning. And I mean, the very beginning of our search. Of course, then we did go with the search firm, and even that took a while, to go through the process and everything. But Hakisha, like Paula had said, is already starting to do the RFPs. When she gets, the RFPs in, she will give them to us. We will give them to the board. We will all make a decision together on who we want to go with. And that will start the process.
Okay, just quick question. In terms of, when the committee was talking about this, did you have a timeline of saying that, is the goal to really just kind of have an interim first? Or is it really to hit the ground running and, to find a permanent by July 1?
Honestly, it was a matter of doing two steps at once, because we didn't want to just start the process of just looking for permanent and then be behind the 8 ball and not have that. So we said, well, let's look at the interim list. So we're starting to, and at the same time we're doing this. And so that's how we were looking at it. We said, let's do, because each and every part in and of itself, because 3 of us, only 1/3 of the board has been here for not 1, but 2 interim searches. So in that aspect, it's just better instead of us just concentrating like we did that first time, just getting somebody in the seat for now kind of thing, and then we'll look for permanent. I had suggested, why don't we just do both at the same time? And this way we'll never get in that situation where, okay, what do we do now kind of thing. It's like we'll be, on the right path to getting both.
I think realistically, it's aggressive to think we'll have a permanent that will have all signed up, for
Yeah.
July 1. And we need a superintendent, or, it's a mandatory requirement. You must have a superintendent. And so I think realistically, we'll need to have an interim for some period of time. And so we need to be thinking about that and moving ahead. We know we need a permanent superintendent. So, so I think I'm going to circulate the list. And again, I'll give you the feedback that we've received, and we'll hope to have more to report, at the next meeting.
And just
You can't hear you.
Okay, and just so that everyone understands, and it's very transparent and full disclosure, everybody is going to be involved in this decision, and everybody's going to be involved in all the information. And so it's not a committee per se. It's a matter that the information travels through the committee and then comes directly to you.
Is this the time we make motions?
Right now, if you have any comments
Okay.
on any items on the agenda or any other, if you have any questions, we're at that point. Anyone else? Go ahead.
You can go first. Go ahead.
I
Mute
can't hear
yourself.
you.
Can't hear you.
Thank you. I know we've all received a lot of emails, so I didn't know if anyone was going to bring up so we have the current school year calendar on the agenda already, but I wanted to bring up the 21-22 calendar for discussion. All right, because I know we've all gotten a lot of emails, we've gotten a lot of feedback about the 21-22 calendar. So I did want to make a motion about it, but I do want to make it clear that it's really relevant for the 21-22 calendar year, because the calendar, the school calendar is done on a year-by-year basis. And we have to look at each year and see what can be accommodated. And that's the reason I'm making the motion, is because looking at the calendar, I know that we can accommodate adding that second day of Rosh Hashanah back in, which is why I'd like to make that motion. Because I know that, if we were already at the last day of June or something like that, I wouldn't make this recommendation, but I feel that because we can accommodate it, and I know, maybe for the 22, for the following year, we may not be able to, because, we've added Lunar New Year, and we've already said that, the intention is to add Juneteenth, and, there are other things that may come up. But I know, looking at the 21-22 school year calendar that we have a copy of right now, that we can accommodate it. So I would like to ask for a motion to add that second day back in, because of the comments and the feedback that we have all received.
So does someone want to second the motion?
I'll second
I'll
it.
second it.
Okay.
Just a clarifying point, President, when you say add it back, are we extending the school year? Like what, Mr. Rowe,
Yep.
like what are we changing?
Well, we're gonna have to add another day.
We're adding September 8th, I think is, no, 9.
Yeah,
Is it the 8th or the 9th?
September 8th, adding September 8th. So then that would make the last day of school June 22nd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the clarification. There's a motion on the floor moved by Ms. Hans Silver to add September 8th, second day of Rosh Hashanah, with the last day of school being June the 22nd. Is there a second?
Second.
Yeah, there
Second.
were 8
There are many
seconds.
seconds. Many seconds.
Okay, so do we want to, I guess we'll take a vote on that?
Yes. I was trying to choose a second. Okay, I chose Ms. Richter.
There you go.
Ms. Ramba,
Yes.
Ms. Richter,
Yes.
Ms. Byers King,
Yes.
Ms. Hunt Silver,
Yes.
Ms. Stasu,
Yes.
Ms. Morel,
Yes.
Ms. Cho,
Yes.
Mr. Rubino,
Yes.
Ms. Colbath.
Yes.
Motion carries.
What? Yes, I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion now. Since we added another day off in September, I feel that it's ridiculous to start school on the previous Wednesday and Thursday. So I am making a motion to start school on, what day is it?
9/9.
Thursday, 9/9. For the reason that, you know what, let's just add 2 extra days in June, because I don't see why everyone should come back on for a half day on Thursday, a day on Friday, and then have a 5-day weekend. I just find that ridiculous. So I think that we might need to discuss further if you want to add it to the end of the year, you want to take something out, but I don't see the point in coming back before Labor Day. So I am making a motion to start school on September 9th.
Now, can I ask on that? We don't have to adjust the last day, right? Because we have snow days built in. So if we did this, and I agree, now that week, school will be closed Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And we always like to start school if we can after Labor Day. Would this extend the June 22 date out, or we can manage it without making any additional changes?
The 2 days added in June would be to keep us at 185 days.
But we only go 183, right?
Well, that's 183. The 2 days are snow days, correct? So we
Okay.
could run without snow days and roll the dice.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor to start school on September 9. Is there a second?
Can we discuss this a bit?
So a
Tanya.
couple of things. If we're making a motion to start school on 9/9, we also need clarification in the motion as to what we're changing to accommodate that. So if we're saying we're going to roll the dice or not have snow days, that needs to be in the motion. Or if we're extending the last day of school, that needs
Well,
to be.
either or. I mean, we could extend it, and then if we don't use them, take them back. Mr. Rhoda, what do you prefer?
The district is only required to have 180 days of school by statute,
Students, yeah.
the student days. The 183 days is a contractual arrangement between the district and the Teachers Association. So if you take those 2 days off and you run at 183 days, you still have a 3-day cushion, but those are contractual days and they would be snow days.
Okay.
So that's what you have to consider. And every one of those days has an associated value. So we could adjust it to the point where we don't change the end and you run at 183 days. And if there are snow days necessary, then you're cutting into the contractual time. Or we could extend the June to the 24th. And as Ms. Stasu said, if the snow days aren't necessary, you can always take them off at a later date, like we plan on doing for this year.
I would say let's keep it the way it is. And, then if and like the first recommendation you made.
I mean, June 24th is also a Friday, so it's not like to add those days, you're going into another week.
We've ended later.
Paula, can I just interrupt for a second?
Yes.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
So I have 2 questions about this. If we push it back to the 24th, that means that on the 27th would be the last
Right.
day for teachers.
The last day for teachers, correct.
And also if we push it back to after Labor Day, which I'm completely I'm not opposed to, but then when would the staff orientation fall?
they would come that Friday, right? Because they have to come it would be 2 days later and they're supposed to come.
Staff orientation would be the week before.
Okay, I'm
The
just trying to
first-
clarify before we start voting on things that I understand what's going on.
First, second, or third.
Okay,
I think the cleaner way to do it is to extend the last day to June 24th and do like what we're doing this year. We've got an extra day, so we've decided
off.
on one CUR to give it as a long weekend for Memorial Day,
Or take it off at the end of the calendar.
or take it off at the
Yeah.
end.
And can the teachers only come in, since they're supposed to come in on the 1st, can then they come in only on the 3rd, Friday? I hate to have them come in like on the Friday before the 5-day weekend, but
can we
they were-
leave it to the 1st so that they can do what they want with their Labor Day weekend if they
Oh,
want to be
yeah,
off on
and-
the 2nd or the?
Oh, that would be great.
Would those be
too.
days off for them? Those would be days off, right?
Yes, one of those days would be the orientation,
Oh,
and
good.
then the other 2 days would not be assigned work days,
Okay.
other than for the 12-month staff.
I just want to clarify something. So we're still leaving it at 183 and 185, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
180
as long-
leaving it at
180
185.
185, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's my
Because
motion.
I heard Paula had dropped down to 180, and
No.
I want to make sure that it's
185.
183, right? 185 for teachers and 183
Yep.
for students, correct?
Correct.
185 for students.
185 for students. Okay, all
Correct.
right, because of the snow days.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So there's my motion.
So
The floor is to start school on September the 9th, Thursday, September the 9th, and to extend the last day of school for students to Friday, June 25th.
No,
Oh, no,
24th.
24th.
24th for students, meaning that the last day for teachers and staff would be
Monday, the 27th.
Unless we didn't use the snow days. and
Monday,
then
the
it would be-
27th. Okay, so the motion on the floor is to start school on 9/9, with the last day for students being June 24th and the last day for
Second.
staff. I'm sorry. 24th?
But just to correct you, not correct you, but in the teachers we would all move back if we didn't use the 2 snow days. Correct? So they would end earlier, like, because that's with the 2 snow days, correct?
Correct. Do you want
Correct.
me, do you want to put that clarifying
Yes, I
in
do.
the motion?
Well,
I
you-
almost,
Wait,
Tanya, you mean-
No.
no, we'd end up, you're talking about if we change the last day of school, that would shift everything. But
yes,
that
if-
would also mean you'd have to do it early enough that you're changing the
Graduation.
graduation dates.
That was my
And-
yeah,
question.
well, we would know if we didn't, have snow days probably
Okay.
around now,
I'm,
April,
I'm
right?
just letting you know that
Yeah.
there's some high school parents that make arrangements months in advance.
Okay,
And if you change the high school graduation date, like in April, they would
Okay.
flip on you.
I just think, I don't want them to, is there another way so that the teachers don't have to come back on Monday, the 27th?
no.
Right.
What if they worked an extra day in September and came in 2 days and then had off the 3rd?
Fuck.
You just said that.
I can't, you're muted.
I can, I'm trying to work it out so that they don't have to come back an extra day. Listen, I just don't think it's right. I think it's, if we're gonna have a 5-day weekend in September, why come for a half day in September?
Can we meet in the middle? Can we meet in the middle and have one day, like instead of having the 2 days, can we do one day and one day? Instead of having 2 snow days, just have 1 snow day?
Yeah,
No, no.
Right.
that's-
with,
Snow days are not in the contract.
they're not in the contract.
What's in the contract is
Good
183
idea.
student contact days.
Right. So can we take that back one, Mr. Rhoda? And so the teachers don't have to come back?
And I mean, snow days now with the
We could do,
virtual and
Yep.
the state permitting, I believe virtual for snow days.
Mhm,
It reduces the chance that we'll actually have a snow day.
yeah,
but I'll-
So you could have 184 days, and then the last day of school would be Thursday, the 23rd.
Yes.
that's what we
Yes.
want. Yeah,
Can I just make a
statement regarding the 183 contractual days. Just be very careful when you start chipping away at your contractual work days, because you're not going to get this. It's going to be very difficult to get those back. And you're going to create a precedent if you start shortening the work year for the teacher. So that would be my only consideration is if
Right,
you
we have to have the
extend it-
exact days in the contract. So does that work, Mr. Rhoda?
It will work.
Good.
The challenge would be if you have more than one snow day.
Well, can we do snow days virtually like we did this year?
Yes,
Okay. Why are you throwing your hands up?
we should be prepared, be able to do that next year
Okay.
if
Okay,
we have enough time before the snow day.
Okay, great.
You know, if you notice this year, we had several days when we did have snow, but we had remote school because they had advance notice.
I'm just trying to think about the kids and the teachers and everyone happy. So I
Right,
think,
but I think there's just as many parents who are going to be unhappy that you've eliminated the possibility of,
of what?
that there's only going to be potentially one snow day.
Well,
next
we
year.
only had one this year.
I know. I'm just saying. you've
So,
eliminated their hopes and dreams that there
oh
might be
boy.
two next year.
okay,
But we only had one this year. All right,
let's
so
get back to the,
let's,
Keisha.
Okay, so I think I haven't made any changes. So the motion I have is to start school on 9/9. If you could please mute yourselves. Motion is to start school on 9/9. In school on June 24th.
23rd. 23rd, Hakisha.
23rd for students, with the last day for teachers being
24th. 24th.
But we just said that doesn't meet the 185 though, is that correct? So that would be
does.
184.
It would mean there's one snow day.
It would just
day,
be one snow day.
which
It
is
doesn't-
fine.
So let me just ask the attorney, is this modifying our contractual language? Is this shortening?
No. No.
Okay, just asking,
As long as there's 183 work days built into the calendar.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, one last time.
Ah!
Motion to start school on 9/9. Ending school for students on June 23rd with the last day for teachers on Thursday, June 24th. Is there further discussion on the motion? Is there a second?
A second.
Friday's the 24th, Rakisha.
Tanya seconded the
My
motion.
God.
Okay. Motion seconded by Ms. Byers Kang. Candy is correcting me. Friday, the 25th.
No,
The 24th, hun.
You said the wrong day for the date.
Got it.
Whatever
Thursday,
you
the
said.
24th. Thursday, the
Hey.
24th.
No, Thursday's
No.
the
Oh,
23rd.
God.
because we're talking
There's-
about 2022.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm looking
You,
at.
you
I'm
want the
looking at the-
calendar? Do you want this?
No, I
I'm
got
looking at the
okay.
calendar.
Got it.
She's got it.
Okay.
Okay. Further
Sorry, I
discussion?
confused you.
Further discussion?
No. Let's vote.
Roll call. Ms. Richter,
Yes.
Mr. Rubino,
Are we voting on last year's calendar now?
No,
No,
you're
I'm
not.
joking. It was a joke.
Oh
Yes, it was a joke.
Ms. Stasu,
Yes.
Ms. Cho,
Yes.
Ms. Byers King,
Yes.
Ms. Morel. So noted. Ms. Maramba,
Yes.
Ms. Han Silver,
I'll abstain. I'm really unsure, so I'll just abstain.
Ms. Colbath.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Any other comments, questions, motions before I ask for a motion to open the floor to the public? Is everyone done? Okay. May I have a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion.
Second.
Motion Morel, second Rubino. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Okay. Hakisha, do you want to announce? No? Okay. So we will hear first from any members of the public that are physically here, and we have none. So we'll be taking questions and comments from those participating remotely. And I would ask you to please select the participants button from the bottom center of your Zoom screen. From there, you select the raise hand button from the bottom right corner of your Zoom screen. Our board secretary, Harkeisha Taylor, will recognize each community member in the order of the raised hands by lowering the hand and unmuting the microphone if muted. Please then state your name and home address for the record and begin your comments. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. And Harkeisha, are you seeing any members of the public who wish to comment?
Yes, Theo Logus and Maria Bonitis. You
Okay.
have been promoted to panelists. Please feel free to share your video and your comment. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes. Theologus. Theologus, you need to unmute your microphone. Zenja, I'm promoting you to panelists. Please feel free to share your video and your comment. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes. Zenja, if I'm pronouncing that properly.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Everyone, I have a question about next year's curriculum. So my daughter is supposed to be in 2nd grade and she's actually completely homeschooled. So she's not in the district. And I've spoken to several parents on how things work in 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade. So I've heard that a lot of the kids are on the computers in school and they're doing Google Classroom for homework. So I was wondering, my own personal opinion is that it's not good for small kids to be on the computer. So I was wondering if there's a plan to move away from computers for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, maybe even 5th and 6th grades. And yeah, sorry, I forgot. Zhenya Antich, 5 Drury Lane. Thank you.
Ms. Antich, the goal for next year will be to have all students back in the building full time.
So they won't like in 2nd grade or 3rd grade, they won't be doing their homework on Google Classroom, will they?
Well, as I said, the goal would be to have them back in the building. So, you know, how teachers assign homework is something else that varies teacher by teacher. But I believe once they're back in the building in a more routine that we're accustomed to, then the homework will follow that.
Okay.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
Also, that's if it's not a snow day though, right? And if it's a snow day, then it might be on the computer.
Well, I'm afraid it's gonna creep in, you know, like the computers are gonna creep into the school and they're gonna stay there because
I don't think we can avoid technology in education. I think it's here to stay. But I think the degree to that it's utilized and relied on, other than weather-related incidents, Ms. Cho, would be drastically reduced as we go back to a more traditional form of instruction.
That's great. That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Howard Lipoff, I'm promoting you to panelists. Please feel free to share your video and your comment. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record. Howard.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay. Hello, everyone. I especially want to congratulate Mr. Rhoda on his retirement, which is on tonight's agenda. I think he seems too young to be retiring, and I wish you the best of luck in your future pursuits. I just had a quick question. I think it's a quick question. 3B, I noticed that there's New Jersey School Boards Association is having some workshops. Now that's very good. And, you know, I think it's good that board members go, but I noticed that it's on Zoom and they're still charging $750. Is that less than where it was in the past? If it was at some hotel or something in the past, do you get a discount? I just was surprised by the amount for they're charging for a Zoom meeting.
So Howard, that's a great question. I don't recall the answer, whether there was a discounted fee because it is virtual, but I can find out and get back to you.
Okay, thank you very much.
But Howard, you should know also that fee includes 9 guests, I believe. A maximum of all the board members could attend for that same fee.
Oh.
And it's not, that's for the conference coming up, which is multiple sessions. It's not one simple event.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, then that makes more sense.
Agreed. Agreed. And it actually started. I think a couple of our board members have participated. So yes, that is for nine members.
Over the course of 3 days.
Okay, so that $750 is for 9 people. I thought it was for each person who goes at $750.
Right. Yeah, I think that it's worded, it has $750 for 2 attendees. So it's probably not worded the best, but Mr. Rhoda is accurate. That amount is for 9 people. I remember our assistant saying that I could go and Diane can, so it's for 9 folks. But
Okay.
two of our board members have registered, but nine people can go.
Okay. Oh, I didn't identify myself. I'm Howard Lipoff. I'm treasurer of the Fort Lee Education Association. I know somebody complained that we don't identify ourselves. So thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
clarifying.
Howard.
Have a nice evening.
Kyle Sanford, I'm promoting you to panelist. Please feel free to share your video and your comment. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes. Kyle. Good evening, Kyle. Please unmute your microphone and share your comment. Thank you.
Sorry, Kyle Sanford, 809 Harvard Place, Fort Lee, New Jersey, 07024. Yeah, thank you guys. I just want to thank you guys for everything you guys are doing. I appreciate it. Just want to know now going forward into next year, I understand what you guys said. I was a little late to the meeting also, so I may ask a question that was already answered. But as of next year, so now we're looking at, like Mr. Rhoda said, we're going to look at the same technology, but we're going to slowly diminish the back to the way it was in school, correct? And what are we doing? Is everything going to be the same? And can we get an idea what school's going to look like next semester and how it's going to be? I know we're going back to full days. Just wondering how things are going to be for my daughter and everybody else's kid going back to school. You know, a little better idea. That's all.
Well, Mr. Sanford, first, I like the new picture. Very nice. But I think next year, you know, we're planning to go back full days, full time with all of our students. However, there are a lot of, you know, intangibles that still need to be decided upon. Originally, the governor had stated that there would be no remote school option. That was about 2 weeks ago, and he's already walked back on that somewhat to say that there may be an option for some students to attend remotely. Right now, we're really looking to see if the guidance from the CDC about the social distancing comes into place. So those will impact all those things. But I think our goal will be to move back to as much as a traditional program that we had in the past, you know, in the future. Obviously, I believe there's still going to be some impact and some changes that'll be made. There may be things that, for example, students will still be wearing masks, I believe. That may change also depending on the virus situation as we get through the summer and the number of vaccinations for staff and students. But I think the goal is to return to more traditional way of instruction.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you, all of you. Thank you.
There are no more raised hands, Ms. President Colbath.
Okay, thank you. And also, I meant to mention on resolution 2P, which is accepting Ken's retirement. Obviously, as we approach the end of the school year, we'll be doing something special in recognition of all of his contributions and his steady hand. And, we'll be sending him off in the way that he deserves for everything that he's done for Fort Lee. I didn't want that to go unnoticed. But we want to keep him working hard for now. So but we'll all talk about it.
It'll take me a while to figure out the calendar here, so.
But we absolutely, as a board, will be doing something special, and we'll consult and come up with something for him. May I have a motion to close the floor to the public?
Motion.
Motion Morel, second Ramba. All in favor?
Aye.
And any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so let's move on to the resolutions. May I have a motion to approve items 1B through 3B?
Second.
Motion Morel, second Richter. Roll call, please.
Ms. Byers King. So noted. Mr. Rubino. Ms. Morel.
Yes, and on 3B, I abstain on my name.
Your name's not
Your name's not on there.
You're supposed to abstain because we're all going.
What?
Ms.
No,
Joe.
you're not.
Ms.
It was
Joe.
already
Yes.
speaking.
Ms. Joe.
Yes.
Ms. Hansilver.
Yes.
Ms. Ramba.
Yes.
Ms. Richter.
Yes, and on 3B, I abstain from my name.
Ms. Stasu.
Yes. Yes.
Ms. Colbert.
Yes.
Motion
Keep it going, Keisha.
No, I think we're all still searching for your name on 3B.
You can search until Tisha B'Av.
Motion carries.
May I have a motion to approve items 1 CUR through 4 CUR?
Motion Ramba.
Second, Silver.
Motion Ramba, second
Han
Silver.
Han Silver, sorry.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Stasu.
Yes.
Ms. Hansilver.
Yes.
Ms. Byers King.
No on 1 CUR and yes to the rest.
So noted. Ms. Joe.
Sorry.
Yes, but are we supposed to say 1 CUR as amended or no?
No, 1 CUR is adding the day to Memorial Day weekend for this year.
Oh, for this year. Okay, that's right. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Burrell.
Yes.
Ms. Richter.
Yes.
Mr. Rubino.
Yes.
Ms. Colbath.
Yes.
Motion passes. Ms. Ramba.
Yes.
No wonder. I was like, okay, thank you. Motion passes.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve items 1F through 5F?
Motion Ramba.
Motion Ramba, second. Second
Second.
Han Silver. Roll call, please.
Ms. Morel.
Yes.
Ms. Joe.
Yes.
Ms. Richter.
Yes.
Ms. Ramba.
Yes.
Ms. Stasu.
Yes.
Ms. Byers King.
Yes.
Mr. Rubino.
Yes.
Ms. Hansilver.
Yes.
Ms. Colbath.
Yes.
Motion carries.
May I have a motion to approve items 1P through 8P?
Motion Morel.
Second Ramba.
Motion Morel, second by Ramba. Roll call, please.
Ms. Cho.
Yes, but no to 2P.
Ms. Richter.
Yes.
Ms. Byers King.
Yes, but I don't like 2P either, but yes.
Is that a no to 2P?
No, yeah, no.
No, what?
No to 2P. No to 2P.
So noted, Ms. Hansilver.
Yes yes. I vote yes. All good things must come to an end. It is with regrets that we say goodbye. but I vote yes. And you know what? He is the longest serving superintendent that we have had in over 20 years.
Woo!
So if we all vote no, does he stay?
No, he
Yes.
doesn't.
Yes.
He doesn't.
Actually, it doesn't pass.
It doesn't matter.
Just telling the truth, Ken.
Yeah, it didn't happen. Didn't work that way in Ridgewood either. So
Just saying.
Ms. Ramba?
Yes, with regret on 2P, but yes.
So noted, Ms. Dasu.
Yes, with regret. I'm growing awfully fond of you. And I'm sad that you have to
Oh,
leave.
that's scary right there.
Going.
Sad.
Who you?
Mr. Revino?
It's true.
Yes, and welcome to the club, Ken.
I'm not gonna lie.
Ms. Morel?
It's an unfortunate that I'm gonna say yes. It's with very melancholy feelings. You've done wonders for our district. You've kept us steadfast, and if you want, I can put locks on the doors so that you can't get out.
Ms. Colbath?
Yes, except a symbolic no on 2P.
Motion carries, I believe. Yes.
Okay, moving on. Is there any old business? Is there any new business?
I just have something that I shared with you, Miss Colbath.
Yes, yes.
So one of the teachers at the high school, Sierra Moon, was selected to participate in a program with Harvard University. So I'm just going to read what was presented in the newspaper that I saw it in. So it says the League of Women's Voters of Northern Valley announces 10 teachers have been selected from Bergen County to participate in the League of Women's Voters of Greenwich's Civics Project, a collaboration with the Harvard Case Method Institute for Education and Democracy that recruits teachers nationwide to attend. Of the 10 from Bergen County, the League of Women's Voters of Northern Valley nominated Sierra Moon, a teacher at Fort Lee High School, to participate in this civics education program. And thank you, Ms. Baker, for reaching out to Ms. Moon for some more information. And she says, I'm very thankful and honored that I was chosen. It was a very informative session where I was able to interact with many teachers who were all eager to learn about more interactive and engaging ways to teach civic issues in history, and students will definitely benefit. So congratulations to Ms. Moon for being selected in a nationwide program.
Any other new business? May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion Rubino, second Morel.
No, wait, 1 second, sorry.
Oh, Elisa has
Okay,
something.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I just wanted to comment with the Namyeonju, the sister city in Korea. I had received a phone call from Mr. Rhoda today regarding, what did he say? I don't remember actually. Maybe it was today or an email where we were discussing possibly moving forward with it. So I did connect with Ms. Monique Kim, who is going to be taking that project and running forward. So hopefully, I've already seen actually correspondence go between her and Unju Hong, who is also a contact and connecting with Namyeonju. So hopefully we'll get a little bit more information in the coming weeks.
That's what I wanted to add that to Ms. Joe. We had spoken, and Mrs. Kim, one of our district supervisors, has volunteered to kind of take the point on this and is reaching out to find out more details. In the fall, in October, I believe, the mayor signed a document or a proclamation claiming Namyeonju, our sister city in Korea. So we're looking at how we can make a connection with them on an educational level.
Excellent.
great.
Okay. We had a motion. It was seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
She just handed this to me, so.
You're still on.
What is it? Okay. Bye, Mike. Bye, Mike.